Hi all, welcome to this Logic Apps learning video series. In this video, we are going to see how you can create custom connectors for Logic App Standard. So I have created a Logic Apps connector based on this article written by Shankar, and this is originally from Microsoft guy, Praveen. So you can refer both the articles, and this article will give you the presentation where how your logic app designer and runtime calls your code. Basically, this is the interface you're going to implement. This is a trigger provider, or you're going to create an operations provider. So Praveen has used this trigger provider where it will create a example Cosmos DB trigger. At the same time, Shankar has created an operation provider. So I have taken Shankar's code and altered a few things, and I have created a connector for Kafka. So Kafka topic I have created here. There is a cluster running, dedicated cluster, and it has a topic. My one try one. There are no messages at the moment where you can publish or and consume the messages. So we are going to create a connector for this one. So this is the code I have uploaded already, and I will be updating this one in the upcoming weeks. Currently, I have implemented a very bare minimum things. One is publishing, one is consuming. So first we will see the demo, then I will explain you the code. So for now, you need to know there are two links are available to articles, which based on them we can create and implement custom connector. One is by Shankar, one is by Praveen. So Praveen has implemented trigger and Shankar has implemented operations. So I have taken Shankar's code, which is in the GitHub here. So he has explained almost everything in detail, and you see GitHub. So this is Shankar's code available, and if you go to the Praveen's code also available in GitHub. So this is the one. So my code is available in here. Okay, here you go. So let's go on to the demo. Right. So I have added, I have built the code and added this one into my local Visual Studio Code. So now I'm going to run this one. So let's see first how is the designer looks like for this connector. So this is my connector. First, add an action where this is the Kafka ext. It is having the icon unchanged, but for now I have two operations. One is to consume a message from a Kafka and write a message to a Kafka topic. So let's write something or consume something. First, we'll see what are the parameters needed for consuming an operation. First, we need to include my own try. This is my topic name, which we have seen it here. This is coming from my topics, my own try one, right? And there is a parameter timeout. In what timeout I would like to, for example, 40,000 seconds, 40,000 milliseconds. I want this program to wait and wait for the message appears or not, right? So this is the connection. So this connection is stored in the app settings, which is local settings.json file, which will contain three things or four things basically. One is to bootstrap servers. which you need to take it from again from the cluster overview. So this is my bootstrap server, which you have to take it from here. And if you go to data integration, then you can fetch the API keys as well. So create a client, say that it's a new client and it's a C sharp based. So now you will get a client ID and secret like this. So here you go. So that is what I have got it here, which is called password and SASL username. And group ID is for consumption, consuming a message from the not it's not required for publishing. I'll show you how I used it in the code as well. Mm, Now back to the workflow. That's it. Now I'm going to write something. Uh, Write whatever comes in from the trigger body to the here, and the topic name is my one retry one try one. So the connection is basically the same. So let's see how the write works. Then we'll come back for the right consumption model. So I run this. So your logic apps is running on top of function apps runtime, right? So what does it mean is here. So if you have any problems, then you need to check first Azure Functions core tools. Here I have two core tools basically, but ideally I should have this 1.132, which is so this has a extensions, a JSON file. This is where your or any yours or any connector will be added here. So this is my connector, Kafka ext service provider. How you will add it, I'll show you that. So now our program is running, is ready. Let's write this whatever here, right, to the Kafka topic. So this is successful. Let's go to the Kafka and check whether this message is there or not, right? Okay, I can do it. Topics, my own. Let's push another message. So this is successful. Yeah, this message is reached here. You can basically this is the connector which actually does not have anything, any validation or any exception being handled. But let's beautify it and see what is the problem. Okay, here you go. It is successfully posted, and we should be seeing the messages here. Let me do it again. Yeah, it reaches here. So this connector works. This is for publishing, and let us test consumption consuming as well, right? So I'm going to use the same connector, same connection basically. So this is having ext consume a message. You can have a for each and consume unlimited number of messages from this topic, my own. And the timeout is, let's have 40,000 milliseconds for now. and save this guy and check this response as coming from whatever I wanted to return, whatever comes from the we haven't filled this connection, so that's why we have seen the error. Split is undefined. It is saved now. I'm going to run this. Let's stop it and run this way. So it's basically it's getting the runtime ready. Um, it is deleting the files first, then it will do a proper build. So whenever you wanted to convert this one into NuGet package, right click and convert to NuGet based logic app project. So that when this project file will be created, based on that it will this function app will build it and it will deploy the application locally. Now our application is deployed. Now what I have to do is I have to get the content from there, right? So I'm reading it. It will wait for the 40 seconds because I have from the code I have given 40 seconds timeout, right? Let's go and produce something. Okay. Yeah, it came here. Let's go and create Bernie. Let's produce one more and go back and try this. Visit the messages came correctly. Yeah, it came here. So both operations are working fine. Now let's go and see the code, right? Um, it's pretty neat code where you can easily make changes. So this is the main file operations provider where it will have one class right on interface that so this methods are coming from those interface which will implement we will implement one by one, right? So we are saying this class is the provider class and we will register it here. The startup is actually registering the class here. So the startup is the starting point which will register this service. Yeah, number one. And this is a constructor which will say how many operations you're going to have. I'm going to have two operations. One is write messages, another one is consume messages, right? Let's see how it looks like in the code, right? So this is where the consume message you'll see. Operation ID is this one. And what you're going to read is add on more, two more are how this operation will look like, right? That is coming from this different folder. This is consume manifest API and operation manifest .cs. Sorry. Yeah. So let's see how is the consume looks like, right? Because we have kept having a consume. So this consume will have two parameters. Will accept two parameters. One is timeout, another one is topic. So which you're seeing here, timeout and topic, right? So I have said it's both are mandatory, and this will gonna look like the output is gonna look like this one, right? And the content type is not being added to this one. How you publish the content type should be added in both the ways. While publishing, what is a content type, and when you discover when you read it, what is a content type, right? And this is a operation where what it should do for consume a message. So this is where consume a message from a Kafka topic, right? So that one. And you have another manifest file for the right that will have a different parameters, content and topic. Let me load that one here. Consume and write. So content and topic. So what would be the content? The body is the content. Sorry. CMO, the trigger body, whatever comes from the HTTP trigger, that is the topic. That is my content. My own try one is the Kafka topic, which I have created. Then the connection is going to be the same for both because it is connecting to the cluster. That connectivity is from the cluster level, and the operations are coming from here. And the topic, that's why we are giving as a parameter. See, even you can parameterize everything from which we can read it from the local settings.json file. So now, once you have built, for example, I'm adding few changes here, right? For example, let me change this one, write message into something else. Okay, let's we have read it right already. So for the consuming message, I have made a changes like consumer message from a Kafka topic, right? I have saved this one, build it. I'm going to build it now. Once you build this one, you couldn't build it because it's being used by here. I have stopped it. Build it again. Build is successful. So I have got a. So this is Visual Studio, right? Visual Studio ID, and I have loaded the logic apps in the Visual Studio Code IDE. So here I have got an add extension.ps1. This PowerShell, you can get it from the source code that we have here, right? So let's go and search the GitHub thing. Otherwise, you can get it from my code as well. However, this code is PS is here. You can take them. You need to run them this way. So Kafka ext and the folder, right? Where is the DLL is available? This DLL, this folder. Take that folder /bin and debug and give this one as Kafka ext. So what it's going to do, it's going to run and it will replace the extension file. So this file will be edited, right? Let me remove this one and show you. Now I'm going to run this. Extensions, yeah. See this one. It'll add it here. So I have two. While my installation is quite a difficult one because I have two extension bundles. If you have two or three, four, then you should keep make sure that you have a clean installation and uninstall everything and have only one, which is 1.1 version. Yeah. So let's remove it here and see whether it is adding it here. So what it does, this script is actually going to the 1.1 version and changing that here. See if you see here, it is adding the Kafka ext, that ps, that file. Let's add it since I have both the versions, two versions. I am adding it here as well. And if you see, this 1.21 is even having the DLL copied here, but not by through this one script. So the script is actually copied that one, copied the DLL in here. 2.3, so it's night time is 12:03. So this is here. So this should be manually copied. If you have multiple extension bundles. Otherwise, it is not needed. The script is all fine. So now I'm going back to this. I have ran this one. I have copied it over. Then open in designer. So let me check if that is working. It should say failed to fetch. Yeah, because this needs a restart. So Visual Studio Code, which will load the connector from that extension.json file, and now we are ready to go and see it in the designer. Delete the existing ones and load the consume where we have changed something. So go to Kafka ext. Say if you see here, consume a message from a Kafka topic. That is changed now. See. So topic is my own try one, and the connector where timeout is 20,000. This is 20 seconds, right? So if you want less, then you can have less. Also, the response should be whatever comes from the. Even this output is actually coming from the manifest that we have. So go to the consume message manifest and find out what is the output object that we have defined. That is why we are seeing it. Even we can change that in the code, right? So I'm going to change this one. This one is, I think this one. This one is fine. And run this one, right? Let me go back and produce some messages in using Kafka Confluent page where we have dedicated cluster. Okay, I produced it by the time. Okay, I think it's good. It's waiting for the messages. Yeah, it's here. So this is how we do the deployment um, locally, right? And this can be pushed into a NuGet package, and your NuGet package can be added here as well. Like so, yeah. So if you see the project file, now we are getting a couple of things from like this, right? So we can get the NuGet packages added to this project file and download it. So what you need to do is we can build this project file and create a NuGet. Right, the NuGet is by default it will be created anyway. So if you go to bin, every time you build, there is a NuGet package. This can be published into NuGet.com, and then you can refer it to your project. So what all I have to do is refer this whole thing, the connector in here to the NuGet. But local is this way using the PowerShell file. Yeah. So otherwise, through NuGet you can do it without this whole thing, so that it can be downloaded from to your build server. From the build server it can go up to your destination target deployment place. So three things are important. One is Kafka startup, where you have to have this provider. This is the starting point of this class, and you're going to implement all five or methods 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So this method is going to have operation ID. When based on the manifest, when you select something, this consume message or the write message will be selected. That is operation ID, which you will get it here. So based on the operation ID, this invoke operation will be called. Based on the operation ID, we will read the connection string, and based on the operation ID, we will say that we create a producer config. If it is a publish one, we read the bootstrap server's username and password from the connection string, and we send it to. We produce a messages to the Kafka topic. Once that is done, we'll say it is successfully posted message. If it is a consumer messages, then we read the connection string from the bootstrap server, connection string group ID, connection string. For consumption, consuming a message, you need a group ID. This is a client group or consumer group that we call, right? And the username, password. We are taking only the latest messages from the topic. So I'm taking the topic from the parameters that we had, the manifest topic and the timeout. This timeout is going to be in a when I say it's consume, right? This is the library which first of all you need to load them using the dependencies. It's in the packages Kafka on 2, which you have to add through NuGet. Like right click. This is a Visual Studio IDE, so it is quite easy. NuGet packages and go to the updates or installed. You will see the Kafka. You can browse it and install it. If you install it, then it will appear here. It will be added so that you can add the namespace of Kafka, and you can consume. You can call the consume method and get the body. So this is where we are setting the body of the message that we received. So if the consume result is not empty, then we will return the body as the consume result message. And that's what we see it in the body is this one, right? And one more thing is, so we have seen the manifest. This is the this is where we set the connection string and we load the service operations. Here nothing much. This is the response. This we have seen it already. Yeah. And in the provider we have seen what is the invoke method. In the invoke method we have seen based on the operation ID we do what, right? It depends on what the operation ID is. Now this we have seen it. We are keeping the PowerShell script, but it has no use here. You have to copy it over to your Logic apps and save it there, so that you can run it and add them. Copy the DLL and add the extensions to the extension.json file, right? So that's it. If you want to contribute um, to here, talk to me. We can actually make this trigger work and uh, make the trigger and the exception handling work properly. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.